young people, especially those in areas of deprivation, are becoming less active. This can lead to a range of issues, such as poor health and boredom. To counteract this, the aim is to develop a positive habit in a young person's life, a sporting habit.
If I wasn't cheerleading, I'd probably be out on the streets with my friends, getting drunk or wasting my time just doing nothing at home.
Well, we wouldn't be doing anything really, we'd just be like standing outside watching the boys play football or like in the cold.
If I didn't come here, I would sit at home, watch TV or play on my computer.
I'll be doing nothing, just sitting at home.
Honestly, I think I'd be sat on the settee watching telly.
Sport can have a massive impact. Once you become involved in sport, it's a habit that can last a lifetime, as I can testify. Even though my professional cricket career is over, sport remains massively important in my life and career. There is always a sport that young people of any age or ability can take part in. The secret is exposing them to enough options to find the ones that suit them. And that is what Doorstep sports clubs are all about, and they are very successful.
Doorstep sports clubs engage the 14 plus age group in multi-sports and all sorts of activities. It's about them forming their own clubs and giving them a choice where they want to do sport and how they want to do sport.
It's the opportunity for young people to try to have that snippet of a different range of sports, the multi-sports, so the karate, the judo, the tennis, the cricket, the football. It gives them an informed choice of where they want to go forward.
Once people come, they tell their friends and they've grew since then, you know, and it's gone from 20 or 30 young people to having 50, 60, sometimes 80 young people here every Friday.
So, to be clear, the idea of sports clubs is that groups based at venues such as community centres or leisure complexes will encourage youngsters to participate in a range of sports. As these youngsters become more proficient in a particular sport, they will hopefully form their own clubs and participate competitively against other teams. The clubs will in turn become self-perpetuating as new members are encouraged to join by their peers.
I got into street games by just coming down watching it first and then just started joining in with him.
I got asked to come down here by Rachel, and I think doing rugby has really inspired me to become the best I can be.
My little brother, I've told him to come and dance, but he says he wouldn't want to dance with us, so I've tried to get him in different things, and my little cousins and that. I think I'm a good role model for them. I brought one of my mates from college tonight actually to come down and have a game, and everybody's starting to come now, and it'll be packed soon, I bet. Well, I reckon it will.
By stimulating grassroots sport in this way, we can provide easily accessible alternative pastimes that have many beneficial consequences. It's not just about motivating these teenagers, there's a whole set of physical benefits too. We are all aware of the trend in adolescence towards obesity, and playing sports is probably the best way of sustaining a healthy weight and avoid heart disease and illnesses such as diabetes. They are benefits to the community too, as local street games coordinators explain.
I do see quite a lot of police and crime data in my role as with the social engagement team. And I do see a lot of those names, and a lot of those names I do know we engage with on a regular basis. And it's nice to see actually some of them are not getting those contact cards and are not getting themselves up into the mischief that perhaps they had done 2 or 3 years ago.
It's a Friday evening, there's about 60 kids downstairs that will probably be on the streets causing havoc. It's a very deprived area, most of this West End of Newcastle is. So it's just giving them an opportunity to get off the streets.
If you've got 50, 60 young people doing sport on a Friday night, that can only be a good thing.
When you speak to people who live in the areas where street games works, you speak to youth leaders, you speak to coaches, there can be no doubt that when youngsters are engaged positively in street games activities, antisocial behaviour goes down.
The importance to the community is clear, and it's vital the Doorstep Sports Clubs link to other organisations in the local area. For example, Rugby League Club Hull FC harness the pulling power of their professional players to increase participation in regular touch rugby sessions for the local kids.
think it's a great initiative that they're doing. For me personally, I've come from a bit of a deprived area in New Zealand, so having role models come into the community and just put smiles on people's faces. Basically, we see it when we come here. We turn up and the kids are, all running around, wanting to, tackle us and do things to us because they watch us on the 40 field. So, I think it's great.
Of course, it's against the odds that Doorstep sports clubs will produce many Olympians, or Super League rugby players, or even Test cricketers. But that's not the primary intention. Many youngsters will gain an awful lot from just participating, not least being a boost in self-confidence. And some do go on to work in sport, careers that they might otherwise not have contemplated, often emulating their coaches, which is fantastic. But the main aim is to develop that sporting habit for life.
I think rugby's actually helped me control my behaviour better, and I think it has helped my self-esteem and confidence a lot because I always shied away, but now I play rugby I feel more outgoing.
When I was younger, before I come to youth centre and that, I take it, I was awful. I was a really, really bad kid. I was getting arrested every day and that, and now it's just like, with me being 16, it's changed my life around. Like with being at youth centre and having youth workers to speak to and that, it's just, I don't know. It just changed me really, to be honest. I don't get in trouble no more, not one bit. I'm volunteering at youth centre and I come down here, and when you see kids and like when they're coming down here and not getting in trouble off police, you can tell that they're making a difference and they're going to go somewhere instead of just like going down wrong lines.
I get along with the coaches really well, and I think having coaches that help us out really helps with the way that I play the game. They really help me to enjoy it.
From personal experience, I know that I was motivated by watching Glenn Hoddle and Ian Botham. I simply wanted to be like them. Role models are important. Youngsters naturally look up to their sporting idols, and the fact that many sportsmen and women have come from similar backgrounds allows kids to believe that they too can achieve something truly worthwhile. Olympians like Sarah Stevenson and Nicola Adams have a great impact on young people, especially when they can see for themselves the impact sport has had on their lives.
I was a really, really shy girl and I did sports, and it's helped me to become a confident, strong, independent woman.
We're trying to get them back involved in sport and, seeing that, it's something that you can do. This is a way where they can try out new sports, sports that they might not be able to try out on a daily basis.
But it's not really about the celebrity influence. That's the icing on the cake. The important role models are the organisers, coaches and volunteers, people at local level who have day-to-day contact with the youngsters. These fantastic people often don't do it for financial reward, but for the love of sport and the development it brings to young people.
So through cheerleading, I've now developed my skills when I teach younger people. So through them helping me, it's given me the courage and confidence to now go on and teach other people.
It's enjoyable. It's fulfilling. I get a lot out of it by just seeing young people smile and enjoying themselves playing football or running around the field. I think that for me is the main thing, that actually communities can come together.
There's a lot more social side of it, and that's why I like the street games clubs, because it changes people, individuals, and it's not just about getting fitter, but it's making people more confident and in speaking to other people, and for me that's a benefit, and that's what street games lets you do.
The Doorstep sports clubs are successfully engaging young people and seem to be meeting the needs of the local community. The local projects are working, but what is the role for street games in all of this? How does it enable Doorstep sports clubs to happen?
As an organisation, we all come in with a passionate belief that every young person is entitled to an opportunity to engage in sport, and the field's not level in that score.
On the ground, there's about 270 projects that are working really hard to organise sport for young people in their area. Those organisations are all independently funded, independently managed, locally owned, and our job at Street Games is to develop programmes and projects that will help them do a better job in their own patch.
What is the impact on the sporting mainstream? One role of Doorstep Sports Clubs is to link to the governing bodies of the sports. It is a means to promote participation and a way of building awareness of just what is available.
It's providing us with that flow of players and putting them on our radar so we can look to either engage them as coaches, officials, referees. I think that the great thing about Doorstep Sport is it brings us the complete individual, so they're not just bringing us a player, they're bringing us a coach, a leader, a confident individual.
Why is this initiative important? Why are Doorstep Sports Clubs vital to communities up and down the country? Why do young people need to develop sporting habits?
Poverty is not a thing that disappears. It's a thing that changes over time, so it's a huge task. What we've done is set ourselves the task of trying to equalise the opportunity over time.
Sport makes leaders, it makes role models, it makes good people for society as well as just healthy and fit individuals.
If you can teach a cricketer with 2 left feet to dance, then I'm living proof of the sense of achievement that you get from learning new skills. And I clearly see this same sense of achievement being exhibited by the increasing numbers of young people as they turn to sport through this exciting project. It's been my absolute privilege to be closely involved with street games and the Doorstep Sports Clubs.